Hello, in this video I'm going to start talking about individual components of Jackrabbit. The updated version of Jackrabbit has had many changes, and so now some of its individual components behave differently. I'm on my laptop today because I know what I'm going to do today is just going to lock up my tablet to no end. That is, I'm going to start with the first component, risk mitigation. Now I've already loaded Jackrabbit, I've loaded the Jackrabbit strategy, and I've loaded the visual for risk mitigation, the Jackrabbit RM module. Now this is the default settings, heavy. And as you can see, support resistance boundaries. It always buys when support is broken. It always sells resistance is broken. Cost. Very simple, very easy to use, very reliable. Until the recent version of Jackrabbit, you could not trade on support and resistance by itself. That changed recently. So let's bring up the Jackrabbit algorithm and bring up the settings. I have disabled everything except risk mitigation. And I've set risk mitigation to heavy. And this is what you're looking at on the chart. Heavy risk mitigation. So let's go ahead and hide the strategy. Hide the indicator and bring up the strategy. I did the same thing here. I set it only to use risk mitigation. No other features. See, everything turned off. Heavy setting. And finally, of course, the settings for the visual indicator. Now I'm using OHLC4 here to mimic what I'm using up here. So it gives me a good enough proximity to visualize what I need to safely, but still keep it extremely fast. Same thing, risk mitigation level of heavy. So as you can see, I picked engine as my coin. And I am pushing it at 1 second intervals. I'm doing this just so you can see the dynamic viewpoint of it quickly on the chart. Because when you start moving to other time frames, which we'll show here in the strategy tester as we progress. Now right now, 1 second interval, heavy, which is 987 candlesticks for analysis. Right now it does trades roughly around 4,300 candlesticks, has an 81% success rate. Now this is just one component, and it's actually making 35 cents profit. Now let's take this up to the next time frame and see how it changes. Okay, now it's only 55% successful and 1.2 profit ratio, but it's still making a profit. So 89 candlesticks per trade, or 89 minutes, roughly speaking. Let's keep going and see how this progresses as we go up each stage. Okay, this one's actually doing a little bit better. 2.51 profit. This is a net profit. 108 closed trades, 76% successful, so forth. Now you can figure out how long by taking your number of bars per trade and multiplying it by your time frame, roughly what we're looking at for total period of time. Okay, let's go up to the 30 minutes. Okay, this one's taking a loss, but it's 42% successful. And of course, you can examine more with it in terms of what it's actually taking the losses on and tune it if you want. Now, ideally, you would not necessarily use risk mitigation by itself, but you could under the right market. And sometimes it's the simplest algorithms that can be the best for a market situation. Okay, so we're at 1 hour now. Continuing to move up, and we see not much is changing in terms of the profit ratio, but we're still pretty highly successful. And that's the important part, is when you run your basic analysis, here, 3 trades, that's it. For this entire period, and it's using roughly 5,000 candlesticks total. So that tells you in 5,000 candlesticks, it's only going to make 3 trades. Now, each candlestick is 4 hours, so 5,000 for 20,000 hours. You can figure out how long that actually is for the analysis, but it's pretty long. Of course, the daily chart, well, it breaks it because there's just no history. And it tells you here, you've exceeded the argument for resolution. But we're going to go back to the 1 second. Nice and fast, and you can just sit here and watch this thing trade away. Now, at the 1 second interval, you are going to have timeouts periodically and a lot of other weird situations going on, just because you're really pushing the limit of what you can actually trade against. The 1 minute intervals are actually quite nice, but it's a loss, as you can see. It can be tuned, of course, but that's something that you should go through and actually look at as you progress. For now, I'm going to turn off the strategy, get rid of it altogether, and I'm going to just use buying and selling for risk mitigation. Now, there are a little bit of differences, but not much. As you can see, everything's pretty much spot on with support and resistance levels. So if you're looking for an easy, simple, not too hard of a strategy to test, this really does a good job, and it does remarkably well. And if you really want to get an idea of just how far you can go, you can actually go up to 6,700 candlesticks of analysis, and it does do extremely well. Now, this is well beyond the limits of what the strategy is going to be able to test. But if you're looking for those right moments, this can actually give you some very nice trades. Not going to be fast. If you're looking for something to put a reasonable amount of money on, will do well. 6,000 candlesticks, that's only 2 hours in seconds. So you're looking at literally 2 hours worth of analysis in this. That's not bad for that time frame. In fact, that's actually reasonable. And it will probably bring you a pretty decent scalping profit for the time frame. So there are different ways to look at this, different ways to combine it, longs, shorts, all the kind of analysis you need to worry about. But it's very easy to do. Risk mitigation is one of the strongest assets you have in Jackrabbit. It can take the most aggressive strategy for JRling or technical analysis and tone it down immensely to really look for some very sharp and detailed entry and exit points. Don't overlook this particular setting. The visual script does a very good job of really showing you how things lay out. Take advantage of it. These are important considerations you need to look at when you're evaluating the market. You can really begin to see just how this market can quickly and easily change, and most importantly, how you can avoid some really bad spots and get some really nice entry points. So right here, just with this trade here, coming in at roughly 26%. Let's go to prices. There we go. So roughly 0.4% to roughly 10%. So a 6% profit just for this little hop right here. That's not bad. And if you're looking to short, here's a really nice short. You're looking at roughly 15 cents to roughly 3 cents. That's a 12-cent profit. Again, not bad, easy to use, and it's not overly aggressive. So you can make this really aggressive or really conservative. Risk mitigation is the perfect component and mindset for combining with other indicators or just using by itself to produce some very interesting results. Until next time.